I think it's high time that Christian content creators had a place to gather, to connect, to collaborate, to learn from one another, and ultimately support one another in the work that they're doing. I think that we need a place where we are not only helping one another, but that we're getting support for the soul of who we are as a content creator. Writers, podcasters, authors, speakers, YouTubers, course creators, membership group leaders. Who am I missing? All kinds of people. Etsy owners, people who are out there as a Christians who want to provide some kind of online service or support, tool, resource. They face all kinds of different challenges, and it can feel like such a lonely road. If this is you, if you even just barely started, you know what I'm talking about. I see people talk on threads and other places frequently. Where can I join a mastermind? Where are the Christian content creators that I can rally with? And how am I going to learn all this information? There's so many tools and there's so many different things to learn and to know as a content creator. We are developing content on websites. We are marketers. We are copywriters. We are graphic designers, marketing, like the list just goes on and on and on. I've been doing this for a while. I think about 10 years. And I love supporting writers and content creators in general. Several years ago, I started a group called Rise Up Writers. At that time, my focus was primarily just to bring people together and to support through a newsletter. And eventually I had to set aside Rise Up Writers. We did a couple of soul care, healing, well, not soul care. It was soul care is included because of the other work that I do as a trauma-informed therapist and a growth coach. But it was using a tool that I created called Unleash Heart and Soul Care Sheets. And side note, speaking of, I just changed the logo over here from my main logo to Creator Life Collective, which is the channel that I'm speaking on today. Okay. So with Rise Up Writers, when we did these different retreats, they were long distance retreats over Zoom calls, and people would get away for a couple of days if they could, or they would stay home if they needed to. And I had different teaching lessons, and then we would also gather together in Zoom calls several times. And one was called Unleash the Writer Within, and one was Unleash the Voice Within. They were great. I loved doing those retreats, and I loved doing Rise Up Writers. But eventually I had to set it all aside because I went to grad school. So now I am a licensed therapist, but I still have this passion for working with other content creators. And the thing is, it's not just about the soul care piece. One of the ways that God created me is to do a lot of research and maybe figure out a little bit too much for my own good, but not enough for my own good, if you know what I mean. So I've researched and learned technical pieces that are part of content creation for a long time and spent a lot of hours trying to figure things out. Now, there's other people that I know that are experts in specific areas. I'm more of I've looked up different course platforms and what it's like to use different tools or how to tweak different things on the back end, like Cloudflare and working with your DNS settings and setting up mail systems and connecting things together, all of that, which is something that can feel very, very stressful at times. But when you're doing it alone, it's so much harder. But because I've done that research and because of that kind of work that I've done, I feel like this is a great opportunity to bring together that passion to work with writers and the community of Christian content creators and offer a space where we're learning together. I'll facilitate the calls and offer help where and when I can, but I'd also love to see what will happen when you are part of it, when other content creators come together and one person has a question about Canva or wants to share a new piece that they've learned, and another person is talking about Squarespace or WordPress or something completely different. So here's the deal. I'm ready to launch Inspire Hub. Inspire Hub is this place where we're going to gather at least twice a month. Currently, the plan is, I believe, the first and second week of the month, different days that I have planned regularly starting in January of 2025. Now in December, we're going to have a workshop gathering where we're getting to know one another and just coming together. So I want to bring together the founding group and see what happens. What will God do? I already have a space for us to meet that is not on Facebook. I know some people will say you're not going to get as much engagement if you're not on Facebook, and that may all be true. But I want a place that is just for us. I use an app called Heartbeat for the other community that I run, which is called Growing You. That's about developing who you are and how you show up in the world. It's trauma-informed, practical support for personal growth as a Christian. And now I'm ready to launch Inspire Hub, which uses Heartbeat as well. So people can be part of both communities, and you can switch between the communities in the app. And that's part of the reason I love Heartbeat, because you can use the app on a mobile device and also on your computer. You can customize the notifications like crazy. There's so many options for customizations there. And there's just a lot of great things that we can do with that to gather as a community, and also to host video content and group replays, that kind of thing. I would love to start off with one of the calls per month being focused on tech and tools. So the different technology that we use, the different tools that we use to pull our content together, to create it, to develop it, etc. And then another one focused on more like the brainstorming, content development, getting feedback from other people, and that kind of thing. I have other ideas of different types of focuses that we could have and different benefits that may come along down the road. But for now, we're going to start off founding members with those 2 meetings a month. And you can also have a place in Heartbeat to ask your questions. If it's something that I can help you out with, or point you to a resource or somebody else can help you with, that would be where you would take it, to Heartbeat. And then we could also do it in the group calls. So that's it. We're just going to start simple like that and see what we need as a group. But founding members are going to get the best rate for as long as they're in the group. As long as they have continuous membership in the group, you will get the best rate. And if you're interested in being a member of both groups, Creator Life Collective and Growing You, please let me know. And I'm going to be able to make that happen too. We'll get the rate pulled together, even if I don't have that in the promotional material initially. Ultimately, I want to be able to provide the space where you're not as alone. You're getting support for the tech and the tools. You have a place that you can ask questions. Maybe these aren't all experts, but people have been learning ahead of you. I've learned things some of you don't know. You've learned things that I don't know. We can learn together, collective learning, right? And also, part of what I want to offer in Heartbeat, in the group, is a few videos on soul care to help just encourage you and help you stay connected to the vision that God's given you, sort through the obstacles and the blocks to doing the work that you believe God has called you to do, and to navigate through some of the different, maybe the spiritual challenges or the spiritual clutter that keeps you from doing the work God has called you to do. If you are interested, please go to my website. I've got all the links below. Should be at joleneunderwood.com/Creator Life Collective. And there'll be sign-up links for the wait list, or at least message me down below. I would love to share more information with you and connect with you soon. Take care.